Hey David, how are you doing?
Angie, I'm doing great, thank you. I'm not at home. I'm uh, I'm about 7 or 8 minutes walk away, but the house is being modified. Tiles are down, and smoke is in the air, dust is in the air. So I decided to bring my wife and my son to this little resort, which really is like a 7-10 minute walk away. So yeah, I'm doing pretty cool. I'm really relaxed.
And
Thank you for
where's
asking. And
home?
you?
Where's home for you?
I live in Cognac in France. So, like, Hennessy and Martell, they're not just drinks. It's, yeah, Cognac is not just a drink, it is a town. So, I live in France and it's like north of Bordeaux, if you want to be a little bit more precise.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it. So I appreciate you being on the call and I appreciate you letting me
Hey, you're
record this
welcome.
call.
No problem at all. I just think it's a good idea. It's good for me because I can review it. It's good for yourself. And then you may have other people out there who've got similar questions to me. And I think I'm quite, what's the word I'm looking for? A mix between eloquent and investigative. So hopefully I asked the right question he wants to hear.
I love it. I love it. So before I jump into some slides, I just wanted to tell you that this is not a sales call. This is just an investigative call, like you said, and we're just going to talk through what it is to have your own TV
Cool.
channel and what it looks like, what I do, what you do, and you can ask any questions you want. Just jump in where you'd like.
Thank you.
The first thing I would like to ask you is, if you had your own TV channel, what are you thinking? Like at this point, what are you thinking about your own TV channel?
That's a really good question. And thanks for asking because, we met a few months ago over at a marketing conference, you remember, in February. And actually, on that first day we met, I didn't know where I was going to go with this in the future. And I asked you, I said, hey, Angie, what do you do? And you told me, and I was a little bit like a rabbit caught in the headlights of a car. I was like, wow, you're doing something amazing like that. And at that time, the projects that I do is too niche. I've been working with driving instructors in the UK for a long time, and they've been cool, and I continue to doing that. But then, because of the marketing conference and other people I'm speaking to and getting inspired from, including yourself, Angie, I've had a look at myself and how I want to be in the next few years and how I want to work to my values and my legacy. So what I've started to do over the last few months is I've put together a very brief program at the moment. It's kind of like to test the water, but I know it'll work. And that's to work with families who have dyslexia in the family. You see, I remember that you had a conversation with me and I told you about my son, and he is not dyslexic, but he has a squint, and how it caused him issues at school, and how there's behavioral issues were brought home. He was only age 4 and 5 years old, and they start school young over here in France, and it wasn't his fault. It really, really was not his fault. Absolutely, I need to say that just in case he watches this in later life. But it caused us horrendous problems. He was suffering at school, and he was he was coming home and we were telling him off. We were not aware why he was going through bad behavior, and actually he was hiding his disability. And what it took was for the school to recognize the problem. Okay, physically you can see the squint, but we had to really get into the dynamics of it all. And I work by myself, so I can get time off whenever I want. But then you got the financial pressure because we worked with a psychologist. We worked with a psychometrician. That costs money. Then my wife, Emily, and it put pressure on us because, our little boy was suffering. And one day I thought, you know what? I'm really lucky, Angie, because I worked for myself. I can afford the time. I can afford to pay for the stuff that he needed. And both of those resources are huge. And I got thinking, there's so many families out there that can't do that. And then just so happens with the driving instructor industry where I'm working with, they're talking about dyslexia at the moment, and the two collided. And I thought, wow, I know for a fact there's 20% of the population are dyslexic. And I'm thinking, imagine 20% of a class, so a classroom size of 30, you've got 6 kids in there suffering. That's not 6 kids, that's 6 families. And I thought, I can do something. I've got skills to be able to help these families. And then it started to develop from there, Angie. It became into, I want to give parents a better educational choice for their child. So I'm talking like private tutors, homeschooling, or anything like that. It's entirely up to them. But I want to help those parents make money online in a way where they can go, you know what, we've got these dollars, we've got this extra money coming in each month, and now we can afford to reinvest that into our child. So it's a bit of a long-winded answer, but it's my best one.
I love it. Yeah. So your message is you
you
want to help bring awareness to dyslexia and how to cope with it, and help families across the world, around the world, understand that it is something that's going on. 20% of kids in classes, I mean, that's a high percentage, and they're dealing with it usually with no help, right? So yeah, I love that. I love your message.
Yeah, and you got all these pressures coming in, and I just want to help from the business side point of view. Look, I'll show you how to make money so you can bring in education. But as I started to uncover, I realized I've got a ton of friends, highly qualified friends, who also can help in their little ways. So from things like feeling motivated, or how to deal with difficult situations, or how to set goals, or how to speak to your children in difficult situations and things like that. So I'm bringing us all this information together, and I'm thinking, you know what? I need a platform bigger than a website. I need a platform bigger than YouTube. And then this bright light flicks off in my head. I'm like, Angie Norris.
Awesome. Well, I love it. So I'm going to jump into slides, and you can jump in anytime if you have questions. And let me.
Thank you. I can see you fine at the moment, but because it's quite bright.
All right. So basically what we're here to talk about is having your message heard around the world by millions of people, tapping into $1 billion market by having your very own TV channel on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and potentially other streaming TV platforms. And what that looks like is a lot of people don't understand what that looks like because they may not have a streaming TV device. But you've probably heard of Netflix or Prime Video, Roku channel, Hulu. There are tons of different channels, right? You would actually have your very own channel just like those. So if you can imagine having your own HBO channel, you would be able to brand it fully to your brand, so dyslexia, and you would be able to have it look the way you'd want it to look, and it would be delivered just like all these other TV channels. Let's see.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And, one of the questions I get a lot is why? Well, the reason why is a few years back, it was really cool to watch on-demand video on your iPad or on your phone. And people loved it. It was new and innovative, and it was the new way to watch shows. However, what's happening is that people are starting to gravitate towards the living room. They want to have that home feel of traditional TV, but yet have streaming on-demand convenience. And so that's why we're seeing this marriage of the brand new way to watch TV. And it is up and coming and brand new, so you're getting in on the cutting edge here. And by being an early pioneer of this, you'll reap the benefits because, as we all know, the early bird always gets the worm, right? So connected television is the fastest growing segment right now, which means that it's the brand new digital channel. And a lot of people have never really considered TV as a digital channel, but now it is because it's through the internet, it is connected, and people in the US, I'm not sure about France, but in the US, over 50% of households have cut the cord to cable. So they don't even have cable anymore. They're using streaming TV devices, and it's growing by the minute. And why would you want your own TV channel? Like Gary Vee, you can have brand awareness, you can have building authority, you can ignite your brand, standing out from the crowd because you're the first to have one. Your competitors probably don't have their own TV channel, so you would have your very own TV channel. And some of the stats, now these I will tell you are from January, and they have gone up since January, which is kind of exciting. But Roku has been leading this space with 70 million users by device. However, I will tell you that Amazon and Apple have been pumping in dollars. They don't want to be second or third to Roku. So they've been pumping in money to make sure that they pass Roku as a leader in the space, and Amazon is almost there. As of right today I would say that they're neck and neck, and it's only a matter of time that Amazon just floors it past Roku. Apple is also on its tail. Google Chromecast will always be a contender, and Roku will still always be one of the top streaming TV devices, which is kind of cool.
That's going to be very advantageous then, really, isn't it? Because you've got those big companies out there pushing that out, so you're going to increase exposure.
Okay, so basically you're going to be able to reach millions of people around the world with your message and tap into a multi-billion-dollar market. So we have the stats here that are just increasing over time, and they've been inflated since January. The revenue for Roku alone, $700 million by the year 2020, has already increased over $1 million this year. And so you'll see that on the rise, and just add in Apple and Amazon. And so what that means is that ad people are actually pulling out of YouTube, and they're pouring their dollars into these streaming TV platforms because they understand already the trends are saying that this is the new digital channel. So marketers and influencers and business owners who get in early will actually reap these benefits of getting revenue from all of these companies at an earlier stage.
I guess that the end user, that they're forced to go wherever their desired content is being shown. So from a marketing perspective, I'm just thinking with YouTube, people can stop the ads, but on this they can't. So therefore, I can imagine more marketing companies going, "Hey, let's do it through the television set instead." So yeah, I can see where this is leading to.
Yeah, absolutely. So on YouTube, they can skip ads. Here, it's pay per view, which means you have to watch an ad to progress through an episode or a program on the TV channel, which means that the advertisers are going to pay you regardless, because the person has to watch, which is exciting, and it's new, and it's going to be really amazing. But other ways to monetize your channel, you can sponsor, have sponsorships, which means you can have other companies have ads on your channel to promote their business, and you can charge them for it. You fully own your channel. I don't own any of it. I just help facilitate it getting onto the streaming TV platforms. So you own the channel. You get 100% monetization of that. There are cuts that Roku may take, or Amazon and Apple, but I don't take any of the monetization revenue that you will receive. So any of these monetization methods, you get 100%.
So would this, to put it in my terms, this would be a little bit like having Google AdSense on your website then, would it? It would be like, right, okay, so I'm accepting adverts, and I'm accepting adverts of this type. Would that be the case?
Yes, so ad revenue, right here, this is where adverts would be put on your channel. For instance, Roku, for every 7 minutes of video, an ad can be placed on your channel, and you will get ad revenue from big box brands. Okay,
cool. And does it have to be every 7 minutes? Can I change that? Could it be every 10 minutes or 20 minutes?
Yes, you can we can place ads when you would like. So say you have this amazing message, and then you're climaxing to this cool point, and then you stop and leave them wanting more. You can put an ad right there, and then after the ad, you tell them what it is that you're the punchline. So yes, you can actually schedule the ads when you would like them. You have them pre-roll, mid-roll, end roll, or you can actually set them at a specific time. So yes, you're absolutely right.
I can really imagine myself saying, so we've got the solution for this right after this message. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's really cool. So that's sponsorships as far as having other people you connect with. So say you met someone at Funnel Hacking Live, and they have a podcast. You can actually have them pay you to be on your channel and advertise their information. Serving as an ad network, or serving as a network, means that you would actually be like a TV network. So think about traditional TV and how these networks like NBC, they have all these programs. It is like this fully fledged thing. So you might think about storage space. A company that has storage space, will rent storage space. think about your TV channel as storage space, and you're renting out places on your TV channel to potential buyers or maybe
Yeah.
partners. And they give you a residual monthly fee, and you
Wow.
actually host their videos on your channel. So maybe you partnered with someone that's not in the dyslexia space, but maybe they're in the, for my kids, it is the sensory disorder, right? My kids have sensory disorder. So maybe someone says, hey, I love your channel. What if I have an ongoing video or a live stream on your channel about sensory processing disorder, and they pay you, a monthly fee. So that's serving as a network, which is really cool.
I could
yes?
I could really see how you would scale up the content. You could scale up the content, and as the content scales up, you can work out how many ads, I suppose, you can run within that amount of content you've got. And then you've got I can just imagine my sales team working for me at the side going, hey, you know what? You've got products there that work, that suit this market. I can get people selling ad space.
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly right. And then the other thing is subscription.
I can just see how that would work. Wow.
Yeah. It's really cool. I mean, there's so many other strategies as far as network goes, but
I can see how, as you scale up more content, you could really have a team there selling ad space for you, and it's not too difficult to really imagine, is it? Because people sell ad space now already. So you can see how this can be, just by having your own channel with the right niche, or niche as you like to call it, can really be a huge income earner. And then it's just a case of of getting the right content out there, isn't it, for your target audience, and supplying the right ads to run alongside to increase that engagement. I find this really exciting. Actually, I find this far more exciting than YouTube.
Yes, and YouTube is so saturated, right? I mean, I love YouTube.
Yeah.
I think that YouTube will still be an essential piece of your marketing toolkit, but this is the new way to reach people that you wouldn't otherwise reach. So it's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking for more of a professional product. And I'm not being disrespectful to YouTube, and there's some fantastic professional things out there, but with YouTube, it still has that ring of amateurishness to it from time to time. You're just never sure of the quality. Anybody can upload to YouTube, but with something like this, what you have got, I imagine, Angie, is that there is a barrier to entry, in terms of finances and resources. So it's not as if your end user is going to think, oh yeah, it's got a barrier to entry, therefore the quality is going to be better. They're just going to see that the quality is going to be better. And therefore I can just see more people taking this, should we say, more seriously than YouTube?
Yes, I totally agree. And I think it's going to be really neat for those who do get in early, because if you think about the early days of YouTube, early days of having a website, early days of any new channel, those people are the pioneers, and they are reaping the benefits because they were the early adopters. And I think that you're right on. Yeah, it's good. So other ways to monetize your channel, subscriptions. You can actually have free channels or subscription-based channels. I have one client who wants to do a 3-month free trial. So he wants to put in place where the first 3 months are free, and then after 3 months, it's paid. And so you can have either or. It's up to you. You can have in-app purchases. So if you have a special that you're running and you want people to use their remote to buy, that is a way to actually add in another way to make some money. Ad revenues we talked about before, having the adverts put on your advertising. It's just a flip of a switch. You can just say yes or no. Like I said, we can schedule those ads per what minute you would like them to appear, or if you want them at random, that's fine too.
Jeez.
Product placement. So like if you had Starbucks sponsor you and they said, hey, show my mug that has Starbucks on it every 5 minutes, you can get paid for that. So there's lots of different ways to monetize. There's other ways other than this, but these are just some examples.
I was just thinking about there you are. You've got the remote control in your hand, and you can just it's set up to some sort of payment thing where you just put your your PIN number in it to go through with payment, or your thumbprint, and payment is done. Boom, it's straight through. Whereas I suppose if people are on the website or what have you not, they have to go and find their credit card, and then they have to go and put all their numbers in and what have you not. But because this is all connected up, already, it just makes the ease of making a purchase a lot easier, doesn't it? And I haven't actually, I'll be honest, I haven't really thought about how I'm going to monetize this yet. For me, it's more about exposure and getting that support out there. But I can just see how any sort of company would want to jump on this. And here I am, I'm just looking around here. I'm looking at the trees, I'm looking at the lawn, I'm looking at the tables and chairs, and there's all different companies that support trees and lawns and tables and chairs and giant tents. And I can see how these people could actually get into creating their own TV channel and having this instant monetization. That's incredible. I think I hadn't even thought about that before, Angie, on how just being here on the TV set, and I've been there, I got the remote control. I go, yeah, I want that. Put my PIN number in, purchase done.
Yep. Exactly.
It's like when you're buying an app, click the button, put your thumbprint over the iPhone thingy, and 2 seconds later you've bought it. Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I am excited about it. So a lot of people ask me the question, what goes into having your own TV channel? So I just put the slide together just to show you that you need dedicated hosting, which is provided for you. We actually have that. Okay. We provide that for you as part of your membership. The TV app software, we provide that as well. And then streaming TV devices. Now, you actually don't need a streaming TV device to have your own TV channel. You only need it to watch your TV channel. And then,
yes, that makes sense.
And then wireless internet, obviously, because it's connected, and then television set, which the television sets can be USB enabled, HDMI enabled, or a smart TV. Now, if you have an old boob tube, those aren't going to work, but the newer TVs will work. And then,
sure.
So we have just kind of the journey when we partner together at a high level. We talk about the concept. We jump on success calls together weekly to make sure that we go over what you want your TV to look like. We collaborate on design, strategy, the content.
You're getting into, you're talking about the strategy now, aren't you? Of how this is going to work together and how you would work with me, right? Okay, cool.
Absolutely. So I do everything. You only have to provide the content and the videos. That's on you. I build your channel. I manage your channel. I launch your channel. And I make sure that you have as many capabilities in your channel. I use a best of breed approach. I've learned 10 different ways to build TV channels. So I make sure that you have every available capability at your fingertips. And then
I have a question for you right now, if it's okay. It relates to content. This is really exciting, and I'm right at the beginning of my business idea, and it's not just a business idea. It really is something I'm going to go into full swing. This is not this is not just done on a flick of a dime. I think it's the expression you guys use. There'll be other people watching this who are years down the line from where I am right now, and maybe have years of content, but the question's still there. Content, and I'm thinking, wow. Geez, this is television. So I'm English. I live in France. So I still think of the BBC when I think of television. And I think, for broadcast capability and stuff like that, BBC standard. Here I am with my iPhone and my $3 microphone. And I'm thinking, how much content do I need to turn this into a TV channel? Because the BBC runs 24 hours a day and it has multiple different channels under its name. And secondly, the quality of the content, I find it, I'll be honest with you, Angie, a little bit daunting at the moment. This is something very exciting, something I want to jump into, but there are 2 big obstacles that are floating around in my head right now. Help, please, help.
Yes.
What do I do?
I totally get that. And what I tell people, if you don't have your own content yet, but you're getting ready to record your own content, I have some training materials on how to do that. But I tell people that it doesn't have to be traditional TV quality. People love the authentic you. They want to get your message, see you, and the reality of it is that they don't care about the super high produced type of material. So you can actually use your iPhone. You can use the $3 mic that you have, and you don't have to worry about that. Now, as you get a budget, maybe monetization or however, you can actually upgrade those things.
I think to support you actually in that argument, I'm kind of selling
Mhm.
this to myself.
Yeah.
You remember the film Blair Witch? You remember the film Blair Witch Project? And
Oh, yes.
that was pretty much shot on a handy cam, wasn't it? Running around,
Mhm.
or it soon, even if it wasn't, the impression was that it was, and we
Mhm.
still watched it. And what was it? What was the other thing I wanted to say? There's a TV program in the UK. I'm not sure whether you have it in the States. It's called
Mhm.
Gogglebox, and it's a reality TV program where there's a video camera recording people watching television and their reaction to television, and it is
Mhm.
really, really popular in the UK. And you see them walking in and out watching television. You see them sat there at night eating their pizza, watching television. It is completely unprofessional, but you know what? People love it.
They do. They do. For sure. I love it. I totally agree that it's not necessarily the quality as much as the content. I mean, if your content's compelling and your message is clear, and then that's what people
Yeah.
want to see. And you had mentioned on another email that you were worried about not having enough of your own content to start. And
Yeah, that's true.
what I would tell you is that what we recommend is just having 6 pieces of content to start a channel, and that what it goes
Okay,
through.
I can do that.
Yeah, yeah. It goes through a review process to make it public, but we can have it private, and you can add as much content as you want over time, and then when you're ready, we will submit it for approval into the stores of all of the different streaming TV channels. We
Okay.
did talk about PLR and how if you're having some struggles finding your own content to begin with, you can actually look up PLR, which is private label rights, to
Okay.
help you just get started with some content. That's a great way. I use that sometimes in my podcasts because I want to make sure that my content is value driven, and I believe that everything is already out there. And so I try to find stuff that I like and then reshape it to make it my own. There's also public domain. You
Hmm.
can repurpose anything in public domain before a certain period of time. It's all free, like a lot of the old Disney movies and old Charlie Chaplin movies. Those black and white movies, they're all free to use. There's
Okay.
also Creative Commons. Creative Commons is a great place to find content that you can repurpose from other people. So other people have designated that it is free to use and share, and you can do that. You can also edit some of them. So there's lots of different ways to
Uh-huh.
have content to begin with until you feel comfortable to have your own.
So basically, there's a ton of content out there, and there's a ton of content that A, you can take because of its age, B,
Mm-hmm.
you can take because people have granted that, and I take it some of those people might have certain requirements, such as you can sell it or you can't sell it, or you can give it away or you can't give it away. And you can go out there and fish for that content and
Mm-hmm.
put an intro on it, put an outro on it.
Yep. And our software that I have actually will add your intro and outro automatically if you want that. So
Oh, no
say,
way.
yeah, so say
Really?
because I know you do a lot of lives, and say you did a live video,
Cool.
and you can actually have live streaming on your TV channel right from your iPhone
Yeah.
or your Android phone, and you can add those right to your channel. And then your software, you can have pre-populated an intro, outro, and credits, and it's automatically, it merges the video into
Oh,
your channel.
cool.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. So this is the project plan. Oops. Went too far. So this is the project plan, and we work to this to make sure that your TV channel gets from your head to cyberspace into streaming TV. And it's amazing because although I do all the work, this
Uh-huh.
I want you to make sure that you're along for the ride. I want to make sure that you see everything that I'm doing and make sure that it's actually progressing from inception to completion and every step in between. And I go through every single thing with a video to make sure that you know what's happening. The only part that you do is number 4, which is the video development. You give me
Yeah.
guidance on TV channel branding, but I actually implement all of these steps for you.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, seeing this, because I've bought into products and services software before, not like this, different stuff. And sometimes I haven't bought, and sometimes I haven't bought because I'm left in the dark as to what's being being done. And sometimes I've had the jitters at a later point because I don't know what they're going to be doing. So to actually see this, and where you can refer back to it to say, look, David, I'm working on TV channel development at the moment, stage 9. You know, I can see from here you've got 14 steps. I am a novice into this, complete novice, never seen anything like this before. So that helps me to see what's involved. And it helps my, not just my unanswered questions, but my unthought of questions. I find it very helpful. Thank you.
Yes, no, good. I'm glad, because I want you to be on this journey with me. Like, this is your TV channel. You own it. This is your brand. I want to make sure that it is world-class, that it has everything that you need. I'm a graphic designer, web designer, video designer, and I want to make sure that that if you need any hand-holding throughout this whole process, that's what I'm here for, because I want to make sure that you love your channel. Any questions?
Well, I wrote a few down
Okay. Yeah.
before we started this, but I think you've answered most of them. So my first question, in fact, don't answer these because my first question was, what is it? I think you've answered that several times over. And why is it different to YouTube? My third question was, what do I have to do? But you just answered that again. And I just need to, I suppose I need to just create the video development. And I could do that off my iPhone. I could do that from Lives, like you said. And you've also said there's the PLR out there as well, that I can get access to. So, okay, I'm answering my questions here. Number 4, running a TV station sounds like a lot of hard work. I'd like to modify that question. The 2 types of I see TV in 2 ways. I don't know sure if everybody else sees it this way. On demand, where you can pick and choose whenever you want. And then you've got the TV as it's broadcasted, not necessarily live, but as it's broadcasted. So you put on BBC One today, and you know what the schedule is going to be for Tuesday, the 17th of June, or whatever day it is today. And that's what I call traditional telly. Can I make this? Can I have like lots of content? Let's say I had a whole week's worth of content. What's that? That's something like 168 hours in a week? What if I had 168 hours of content and I ran this TV station consecutively, week after week after week? Could I do that?
Absolutely. There's a scheduling tool within the software where you can actually, if you're...
So I could set up 24 hours. I'm happy that I could run it like a regular TV station, because that really applies to my ego. To get 168 hours of content, to run it consecutively for 24 hours a day over 7 days. Not that you're asking for that. It really does go to my ego. But how do I upload this? Because I know you said I could do it from my iPhone. That's cool. That's very helpful. But how do I get it on? How do I upload it?
So I have a share file that you will get access to. I will set up all the folders for you. You will have permissions on your phone as well as web-based, and you will upload all of your videos that you want published into a folder that says ready for publishing. Or if you would like me to review your video before you're done with it, you can put it into drafts, and I can look at the draft of it and give you any advice that you may need. But once it's in the the folder that says publishing, ready for publishing, I will post it to your channel. Now, I'm running a special right now. So after 6 months of me doing full service management for you, there's an option for you to actually manage your channel for you, and you will actually have access to the software, and you can upload directly to the software if that's what you'd like. The share file, though, I will say, is a great way to back up everything on your channel. So it'll have all the videos, all the feeds, all of the files, any graphics, images, thumbnails, everything, so that if for some reason you needed to take your backup information, put it on your computer, you can. I want to make sure that there's 3 different places that it's saved. My own server, your computer, and then we have it backed up online so that we make sure that your information is safe and secure.
Okay, thank you. So here I am. I've done the content. I've uploaded it. How do I get people to find it? I imagine that, I suppose I could tell all my Facebook contacts on how to do it, but what about actually doing some sort of, I don't know, search engine optimization within the television?
That's exactly right. So the same algorithm that YouTube uses is what your TV channels use. And so we will optimize your videos, making sure that the title, the metadata, so the description, the thumbnails, everything is very super optimized for search, because that's how people will find you. What's cool about the search on these channels is it doesn't just search the name of the channel, it also searches the programming. So if you have 20 videos on dyslexia, those will all come up with a search term, dyslexic or dyslexia, depending on how you have your tags and categories and your description. So yeah, they will definitely come up. So traffic, I have a whole methodology on traffic. Not only can you publish directly from the software to your website, to Facebook, to different social media platforms, as well as your TV. So you'll have different ways for people, but I will help you cultivate a way to get people to understand that you have a TV channel, how to find it, how to download it, what's the easiest way to watch your videos. And then we optimize your TV channel metadata, so your SEO, TV SEO is what I call it, to make sure that people can find everything that's on your channel. When your channel gets submitted to, and it's live publicly, it actually goes on a list. There's a list, it's like 100 top channels that were recently added list. That's where you'll get a lot of traction. But what's great about people who download your channel, they are committed to your channel. People aren't just kind of checking your channel out. They really want to know about dyslexia. They want to know about your message, and they are engaged users and potentially buyers. So that's what's cool about it.
There they are. They click on it, don't they? And then it just downloads to their TV. It's in that little bar at the bottom or the top or the side, wherever you choose it to be.
Absolutely. And it's kind of a neat concept. So the stats will prove that people who actually on your channel are engaged viewers, not just having your channel on their TV.
I have a question for you about statistics in a minute, if I may, but
yes.
Before, another question, and it links to interactivity, and that's subtitles. Are they something that I'd have to upload myself, and then would people be able to have control whether or not they want to read them?
Yes, that's exactly right. So just like TV, subtitles are an option. So each user of your TV channel can actually add the language. So if you upload your TV channel and you say you want it in French, since you live in France, then not my software, but the Roku and the Apple and the Amazon software will actually add in any subtitles that will apply to that language if it can take what you're saying and translate it. So there's a list of all the different languages that are optioned, and you click, you just check those boxes to make sure that they're on. And then if they're on, then the subtitles will be added, and they're optional to the user. So the user will actually have to turn that on and off.
You're going to kill me because I had two questions and I wanted to do the interactivity question first, and I
Sure.
can't remember for the life of me what the other question
Oh,
was.
no, that's okay.
It just an awful lot of information there that's
Mhm.
coming at me. So we've looked at how to make the content, and you don't have to make it yourself. Okay, cool. That helps me a lot because there is other content that I'm sure there are other people out there. I mean, I'm new into dyslexia. I'm sure there are some seriously good experts out there that have done some free to use content that I would like to have on the channel. I don't need to say it's mine, but just to put it, and I don't want to say it's mine if it's not mine, but just to have it in the channel, Angie, I think it adds to that huge level of credibility. The TV for the TV SEO. Okay, so how we can get people to find it, and then the subtitles. Wow. Could I have multiple channels within a channel? So let's say the BBC, for example, that's the broadcaster, and then they have BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three, and so forth. Is that possible?
So within your channel on Roku, I'll use that as an example. You can have 20 different categories. So you can name them whatever you would like. So if you want latest, David's favorites, top videos, most viewed, you can have that. Or you can have them categorized into different niches. So like if you want dyslexia awareness, how to cope with dyslexia, parenting tips, you can have whatever categories set as you'd like, and then there'd be videos within each one of those categories.
Awesome. I knew if I asked you a question, it would help me unravel the missing question, the one that I forgot.
Okay.
That's about statistics. I'd be keen to know, and here's just a few questions off the top of my head. How many people watch my program? How long for? At what point do they cut out? What program have they watched before? Even if that's on a different channel, what program are they going to watch after? What time of day are they watching that program? Are they watching more than one? Are they pausing it? So there must be 7 or 8 different questions I've asked there. I don't expect you to be able to go through every single one of them, but are there statistics available or in the pipeline to be available where I can look at things like that?
Yes, that's in existence at the moment. And you can there are developer accounts for each platform. So Roku has a developer account that we'll set up for you. Apple and Amazon, Android, Google Chromecast, they all have their own developer accounts that you'll have access to. And within those developer accounts, there are analytics. And the analytics will show you how many subscribers you have, which means how many people have downloaded your TV channel as an app to their device, how much are they watching, how many hours, what countries are most watching your TV channel, and things like that. So you can have it down to the programming and each episode to find out, which ones are more popular versus which ones are not popular.
Yeah, because some of you probably just want to shift or maybe just even rebrand, change the SEO, stick it on another subcategory or something like that.
Yep, exactly. Cool. Yeah.
Going back earlier, you mentioned interactivity in terms of how people can press a button and make a payment and stuff like that. So I don't have a product to sell right now for dyslexic people or dyslexic families. But if I had, could I then engage a button at a certain point where they can make that purchase and then that digital purchase is sent to them, or something starts to work at my end where a t-shirt gets printed for them or whatever?
So there is no buttons that they will see on unless you have like a fake button, but you can actually tell them, give them a call to action of what to do. And when we have it enabled on your remote, there will be a way for them to pay using their remote. Now, if you just tell them, hey, if you want to take advantage of this offer that I have going on right now about my dyslexia awareness program, then you can use your remote to make that purchase. Then on the back side, you will have to develop out a funnel or a way for them to receive that based on how you have your back end set up, which I can help with that because
I was really thinking of the funnel, but I just used the word purchase. I mean, I do have a small funnel in there to collect details and to help people, but I mean, if there's a way that they can then bring that funnel up on screen, or so they can access that straight away, that would be cool.
Yes. Yep. You can just tell them, hey, go to dyslexiaadventure.com and you'll be able to take advantage of this offer. That's another way to drive them without having them do anything on their actual app. But at the same time, you can have multiple ways. You can tell them where to go if they want to check out the information, because some people are data driven and they want to read all about what your offer is before they make a purchase. And if you don't want to take up the time on your programming, then you don't have to. The other thing is the intros and outros that you can set up. In your outro, you can have your links on your outro that go on every single video that you upload.
Now, some really random questions to ask you. So here's another one, and I'm sorry for putting you on the spot like this, but when you record on Facebook Live and you got the camera pointing at you, everything's mirrored version, isn't it? It looks the wrong way around. If I did something like that, then uploaded it to you, is there a way where we can actually re-mirror it so it looks the right way around? Which is important when, I mean, I was wearing a baseball cap earlier with one of my company names on it, and people going, "Oh, David, it's back to front." So, I mean, if I did something like that and used an old Facebook Live for content, and then uploaded it, if I uploaded it into your system, the TVpreneurs, could I then mirror it back so it looks normal?
The software that I have will not do that. The videos are as you develop them, but I can give you tips and tools on video development software that will actually do that for you. I have plenty of tools, free tools and paid for tools that will actually help you make that happen.
I take it that'll be in step 13, bonuses and add-ons.
Yes, it will.
Okay, 2 questions to do with support. One question is, right now, it's just me. I'm not looking at building a team, but I imagine when this picks up, I will need a team. I will need a content developer, maybe. I would, for somebody to go out there and do this with me or what have you, maybe even a researcher. I don't know what they have in TV land. Could I have 2 or 3 people or maybe more log into my account?
Absolutely. You can have as many people as you need on your team to have access to helping you facilitate and manage your channel. So when I onboard you as a client, there's a form that you'll fill out that just gets to know you better, what your goals are, strategies for your channel, and any questions that you may have. And in that form, there's also a place where you can actually put all of your team members that you want to be involved. There's a membership site. This is what it looks like. They'll have access to the membership site to make sure that they also understand the journey of TV channel development, as well as have access to the platform for them to actually upload. So if you have a virtual assistant or if you have a marketing person, then they would have access to that.
Excellent. And I'm assuming that I could put restrictions on there.
Yes, absolutely.
So they don't kill my channel accidentally or maybe even viciously.
And that's why I back up everything to make sure that we can go back to an older version. So if someone, say, messed up your channel by accident, we can actually go back to the previous version and add that. So it's not a problem.
Here's another random question that's flying into my head now. You mentioned earlier it takes a little time for the TV channels to review what you're proposing. What are they looking for? Are they looking to make sure that there's no nudity or sex or violence, and if there is, it's age appropriated? I'm assuming that's one of the things. What else are they looking for?
They have a checklist, and right now it's an easy entry into having your own TV channel, but as time goes on, they're going to start to get a little more strict because they want quality, right? They want to make sure that this doesn't just have a bunch of random videos of people just without a purpose, right? So If
Sure.
your channel has lots of affiliate links, they don't like affiliate links. They don't like third-party links. They want the links. If you have links included, they need to be your links. They need to be stuff that's related to your business or your advertiser's business. But they don't want you to just be putting out all of these affiliate links. So there are different rules, and there's a whole checklist that I have that will walk you through what they're looking for. And the review process, if your channel gets rejected, what we do is I work with you and tell you why. Like, your videos had this in it and we need to edit that out, or your video had this. But I would tell you right now, because this is a brand new space, the entry is not very hard. But
that's fine. I just want to make sure even in the future it stands up to scrutiny in the future.
Yes.
I can't imagine me wanting to, what's the word I'm looking for, unwittingly do something. I have to think of my target audience as well. But my target audience could have been strictly an adult target audience, but at the same time, that I was thinking there could still be parameters that they would want to work to.
Yes, exactly. So
okay,
I'll walk you through all of that in the members area, and of what to look for and how to make sure that your videos don't get rejected. But right now it's an open market, so which is pretty cool.
How exciting is it to see your TV channel on on Amazon or something like that? Because there you are, you go to your friend's house, there they are, they're showing off their television, and then you go, boom, there you go, you show me your television, I'll show you my TV channel. What's it feel like? It's
a really weird, surreal feeling, because it's instant notoriety and instant prestige of having your own TV channel on something that people otherwise wouldn't be able to have. And TV has been a leader in just $1 billion market, and now because of my company, we're able to have people, influencers, business owners, have their own TV channels, and it's an amazing opportunity.
With that, I just thought of something else, and it's really to do with getting people to your channel as well. I mean, who the heck sets up TV channels? I mean, everybody's heard of Rupert Murdoch, right? But who? What? You've got your own TV channel? I live in France now, but you know when this goes live. See, there you go. That's my buying in thing there for you. You've been waiting for. I'm going to go back to my hometown. Not physically go back. I'm going to go back to the station. I'm going to go back to Nottingham and Derby and Mansfield, the areas where I grew up and spent my time till I'm 30. And I'm going to do some press releases there in the local press, and say, a local guy sets up his own TV channel, and I can just imagine the local press going, "What? Local guy sets his own TV channel?" Because they haven't heard of that yet. And then, David is the first person from Nottingham to set up his own TV channel. Or look how David has set up his own TV channel for dyslexics, and we're going to interview David Paul right now. And they'll be asking, how on earth do you set up your own TV channel? What got you into that? Because they'll be really curious about it as well. I mean, they're from the media, but it's also an awesome humanistic sort of feature that they like to have in the news, isn't it? And they always struggling for content. Whether I'd be front page or not, I don't know. But I actually have had some experience, Angie. I'm not sure whether you're aware of this. It's before we met, but I'm not sure whether I told you. I saw on Facebook, it was 2 Christmases ago, that a good Samaritan on Christmas Day, he stopped his car in a zone where you should not be stopping your car. It's a bus lane. And he got fined for it, but it was Christmas Day. Nobody was driving. And he was out delivering little Christmas presents and packs to the homeless people. And I just came across it on Facebook, and I tracked him down. I asked him how much his fine was, and I paid him. I said, there you go. I'm not letting you do that. And I paid the £80 or whatever it was. And the following day, I got a phone call. Hi, it's the Leicester Mercury. So Leicester's a city in England, and Leicester Mercury is their biggest it's a real big paper.
Mhm.
And they said, "Oh, we've been speaking to this chap and we've heard what you've done. Can we interview you?" So,
Wow.
so later on that day, I'm in their evening edition printed newspaper. I'm on their online edition, and the following day, I'm in the national press and the national
Oh.
media. So it's kind of strange, because I'm thinking of how I can go back to local media and say, I'm a local guy. I was a local guy. Now I run my own TV station, and how that could pick up in the press, and they like these new fads, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So I really am sold. I mean, you can name any price you want now. I just need to make sure I've got the money in the bank.
Yeah, one of my bonuses is actually I write a press release for you that you can edit and
No way.
I do, because I used to be I've written probably 100 press releases in my time in 20 years in marketing, and so I have something that you can actually make it your own and get it out to all the press release sites.
I'm glad I shared that with you, because I think that's really important for you to have spoken about, because
Mm-hmm.
it is exciting about having your own TV station, but you still have that little question mark in the back of your head. How am I going to get the traffic to it?
Exactly.
I thought I did very well getting into the national press for what I did, but I'm sure you probably think it's small fry with you been doing that for 20 years.
No, I think that's amazing. I mean, just being a good Samaritan like that it just speaks volumes to your character.
I'll try my best. I realised I've not had a video on for a while. Well, there we go. I'm back. Is there anything else I should need to know?
I want you to, take all this information back and email me with any further questions you have. You can welcome to set up another call if you'd like to talk further. But now I know this is a lot of information, so I don't, like I said, this is not a sales call. This is just a discovery call. And if you want to come back to me and let me know what your thoughts are, I'm ready and willing, and I'm here.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's one obstacle in my mind, because I work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a family, I have a wife, and I share things with her, certain decisions that I'm going to make, because it has a financial impact on us, or it has a time impact on me. And I'm thinking, how do I tell her today that I'm going to have my own TV station without her falling over laughing? Because it is quite something. I'm hooked. I'm having this.
Good.
I've got to have this. How can I find out if people are searching for dyslexia at the moment?
I can show you how to do that on do you have a smart TV or?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go in there and just type in the word dyslexia, it'll come up, and I will record a video and I'll send it to you
Cool.
on Roku, because before our call, I actually looked it up, and there was only one channel that even talked about dyslexia. So right now it's an open market, which tells you that there's a need there, right? I mean, you have a message to get out there, the awareness, and people who need to help coping with it. So Roku is an open market. I'll search on Amazon and Apple for you as well, and just let you know kind of what it looks like.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe one day it could end up being a Netflix original. Who knows?
That'd be awesome. I would be excited to help you make that happen.
Do you have the capability, and I don't mean that disingenuously, but do you have the resources, perhaps a better word, to be able to put people in front of the right people at Netflix and Amazon Prime, Amazon Video?
I am pretty connected, but as far as that, it depends on the context. Like, what exactly are your goals and intentions, and then I can source out and research the right people for you to talk to. So if you wanted to cross promote some of your videos, I can get you in front of the people that can help leverage those opportunities. I don't have the direct connections at this time, but it doesn't mean that I won't in the future.
Okay, right, cool. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think I've taken enough of your time, and I've made so many notes, and my brain is frazzled.
That's great.
I want this and I need this. I need this for my legacy, for where I want to go, for how I want to empower people. This is not really about the money that hopefully will fill into my pockets. It really is a case of, I need to get my message out there, and this will be a great way of doing it.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm excited, and I appreciate all of your time today. And like I said, just follow up with me with questions, or book another call, and we will jump on and get you going. So I appreciate your time, David.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy France.
You too. Bye.